and I assign null to it. And now we can run this with console write line, and we have no compiler error, no editor warnings or nothing. So what do you think will happen here? Yeah, of course we will have a nullable reference exceptions. So this is a big problem when it comes to reference types, because one of the most exceptions that happens in .NET apps are nullable reference types. So how can we fix that? Okay, now Visual Studio wants to update, but I will do that later. So how can we fix that? Yeah, we can use nullable reference types. And you have probably seen nullable types already in C#, but then it is about value types. So if you go here and say int number is equal to null, we will have an exception. But then we can go and say make this nullable. And now we just have a warning that we are not using the variable. So, but this is not really the same. This is just a shortening for this. Nullable int. We wrap the value object into an object. So count null. Okay, so this is the same thing. But you can write it like this, like a shortening. But then you can do like this, count dot has value, and you also have a value property here on the nullable object. It's the same on number, has value, so you can see that they are both the same. But with nullable reference types, you don't have that at all. Nowadays, nullable reference types are enabled in many projects when you create them. Not in .NET MAUI project, is my experience, but you can easily turn them on. So there are different ways to do that. You can do that on project level, you can do that on file level. So if we open the project file, we can go here and say nullable enable, just like that. And now we can go back here and we get a new warning. Converting nullity or possible null values to non-nullable types. So then we can say a question mark after the object, and now it's possible to have it to null. But let's see if we can do as with the value types. Hello dot has value. No, we don't have an has value, so we need to check that with an if statement, for example. So here we have a warning now. Dereference a possible null reference. So the compiler here will warn us that we can have a null reference exception if we don't fix that. So what we can do now is we can do if hello is not null. Just like that, and then the warning is gone. So you need to check that in some way that you don't have an exception. We can also do like this. The compiler is pretty smart. It helps us a lot as a developer. But now you can see that we have a warning here too. Public string high. Non-nullable property high must contain a non-nullable value when exiting constructor, considering declaring the property as nullable. So here we have two choices. We can give it a value like string.empty, or we can declare it as null. But for some cases you don't want to have them as null because you will set them in an object initializer, for example. Then you can do like this. You can use a null forgiving operator and you can assign them to null anyway. But this will remove the warning. But this is really not a good way to do that. So there comes the required property that we have in C#11. And that is one of my favorite keywords in C#. So then we can remove the default value and we can go and say required. And now when we create this object, so var hello is new hello. we'll get an error. We cannot compile this because required member hello.hi must be set in the object initializer or attribute constructor. So we need to set this. So let's go and do. So hi is equal to hey. And now the compiler error is gone. So this makes it possible to have required properties without setting an default value. And I think that's really, really good. And it also makes it easier for developer to not miss to set properties that you need to set when the object is initialized. But if we want to turn off the nullable reference types for just one file, we can also do that. So we can just add a compiler directive at the top of the file. So hashtag nullable disable. And we cannot use nullable syntax here anymore. So we can go here and remove the required keyword and try to set this to nullable. And now we get a warning because nullable is not enabled in this context. So let's say enable here. Yeah, of course it works again. So this was a short video about one of my favorite things in C#, at least if we talk about things that has been introduced the latest years, even if it's not the newest feature. So thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.